Welcome to Sugoi Kakkoii, the podcast so nice we named it twice. Your hosts are me, Caden.
Me, Greg.
And me, Ariana.
We're an anime review podcast in which we review the top 3 anime of a season as rated by My Anime List, as well as 3 additional sleeper pick series. The docket for today is Violet Evergarden, Sintrus, Death March, Pop Team Epic, Ito Junji Collection, and Hakata Tonkotsu Ramen. Kind of went back to basics there, little right. OG. Oh, 10 minutes on the clock, too, for each thing.
Oh, yes.
Can't talk about Death March forever, as much as we'd want to.
And Sintrus, mind you.
Okay,
But anyway,
we'll get
let's
to that.
get started then. Well, let's
Violet.
get started with the first on the docket.
Violet. Anyone want to go first? Or?
Alright. This was...
a gut wrencher. This one sucked to watch. It was sad.
Man, this was an emotional roller coaster.
This is sad boy hours.
This was definitely sad boy hour.
Well, at least the other ones were kind of cute, or they were kind of love stories, or like they were cute. This is just depressing.
I mean, it was, gosh, the only I don't even know how to begin, because at first I really didn't see I really didn't see much of this coming. The first intro with the play, where they were introducing Oscar the playwright. I was more under the impression that this would be another how Luculia's brother was a drunkard. I thought this would be a similar thing because Oscar was a drunkard. So I was like, oh, I guess she's just going to be taking care of him. And then there was the cute, oh, sir, I'm your ghostwriter, not your maid scene. And I was like, oh, it's just casual banter. And then it got so freaking
real.
It got crazy.
When I saw the play thing, saw the play scene, I'm like, oh wow, a play. I hope Death March didn't ruin the concept for me. And then I thought when I saw how much he was drinking, that's me after watching Death March. But I'll be here all week, everybody.
I mean, Violet can't cook. We know that much.
How do you not know what an egg is?
You know?
How do you not know what an egg is?
What's this?
Whatever. It's okay.
What's this?
What? No. But I was so happy for Violet in so many of these things. She was starting to empathize so much. I saw her smile a lot in this episode. Well, the first half of the episode, because she was when she cleared that entire lake with the parasol. I was like, oh my god, that was in the PG.
Don't know how
it was the most beautiful scene ever.
That was the most beautiful scene.
Oh my god! There's been no other scene that could top that in this entire season.
Yeah, and she was so happy that she got 3 steps in, and I was like,
what
how
was
do you
the
do
logistics? How did she do that?
Suspended my disbelief.
You suspended your disbelief.
Let's suspend her disbelief.
My stand, the parasol man, helps me carry across 3 steps in water. But how did she clear it? I'm like, there's no way she's gonna actually clear it. He's just imagining this, right? And he kind of was, but she actually made it that far.
She didn't clear it. She
almost did.
She got pretty far. Well, okay.
She should be in the
we're kind of beating around the bush, though.
That's a big lake.
So,
yeah, she was wearing heels.
Well, to be fair, everyone wears heels.
Yeah, everyone wears heels in this society. But, gosh. And what really, had me was, in the beginning, when I saw Oscar's face, I was like, he looks like a washed-up Major Gilbert with red hair.
So you're like, what if
I was
it's
just thinking that in the back of my mind, and then...
Yeah, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. He's dead. He's dead. You guys whoa, dead. No, he might.
Ariana and I had hope. He
might come back. I'd be like, really? Because that's the kind of story they're gonna tell. What would the point be?
The thing is, though, this came out of nowhere, right? I think we all thought it came out of nowhere.
Well, because they're like, oh wait, we have a plot to do too, beyond just these one-off stories.
Yeah, because I was kind of shocked, because I thought that they just gave up Like, remember how we were worried that they gave up on Violet being scared that she doesn't deserve, like, having such a happy life, and we're like, oh, they probably forgot about that plot point, and that's really bad. They definitely didn't. They definitely didn't. The entire point of this episode was for her to empathize this time with, like, tragedy, like, really real tragedy, and she was able to empathize with it, and she started having all this PTSD about killing other people in war, and I was like, dang, that's pretty emotional. And then she learns that Gilbert's dead, and I'm like, oh my god,
we're
awesome.
Not so sure.
Oh, I knew it. I knew
he's
you were
not
going to
dead.
say that.
No, there's no way
that
he didn't say, oh yeah, sorry, but
as soon as they're like, wait, never found the body, I'm like, oh no, they're going to keep saying it, aren't they?
And he gave like a reasoning. He was like, well, you know, he could still be alive because, like, you know, we didn't really find the body.
Why would they even do
there's
that?
There's no way.
You want to see his dead, mangled corpse on the ground?
No, he's definitely alive. He's definitely
what do you want?
Okay.
Do you want a doctor animated in to be like, here's the certificate of death, I saw the body? Like, what do you want? What can I do to convince you that he's dead?
You can't convince me.
If we're gonna be...
You can't, because I'm 100% sure that he is still alive.
He's gonna be, like, ugly.
Wow.
And it's gonna be
that
like
is really confident.
We can bet on it if you want to.
Okay. Big bet.
Big bet.
Big bet.
Big bet.
Big bet.
Kid, do you want to bet Ariana?
Yeah, I'll bet her.
Alright.
Like, what do we need to see? I don't know what she's waiting for.
I'm waiting for...
She's waiting for Violet to meet Gilbert.
Or actual confirmation that he's still alive.
But what's the confirmation? You got confirmation that he's dead. What do you want?
No, it's not like
confirmation.
Yeah, we haven't found the body.
Yes,
Technically, he's missing in action. He's missing in action.
So he's assumed dead. He's assumed dead. And so I'm assuming he's dead.
We're assuming he's missing in action.
Oh my gosh. I knew it too. I'm like, one of them's gonna pull this. One of them's gonna hold on, and they're gonna be like, well, technically...
It wasn't me, but I will say that if any animation studio is going to bring a character that was supposedly dead and then bring them back to life, it's probably KyoAni. So I'm just like putting that out there. If it does happen, I wouldn't be incredibly surprised, but for now,
it's gonna be a happy ending.
Dead.
Well, actually,
no happy ending.
No,
There's
I don't.
Way this
in my
is a happy
opinion, I don't
ending.
like. I feel like she's gonna meet up Gilbert at one point, and then she's gonna be like, "Oh, you know what? I really don't like you. Like, I don't love you that way. Like it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like
she starts dating Leon from episode 6.
No, okay. Well, like that's what I was thinking. Like they never make clear if it's like familial or romantic, and then we've seen both in the series, so they never really defined what it was. So I don't know if it was like a older brother, younger sister kind of deal.
That's the whole point, because
well, actually, okay, it's interesting you say that. So I've noticed that ever since episode 3, each episode has been tackling a different type of love. So episode 3 it was Luculia and her brother, so that was sister brother love. Then episode 4 was the love between a boyfriend and a girlfriend, or and what was episode 4? Episode 5 was the arranged marriage with Charlotte. Episode 6 was the mother son father love with Leon. And then this is father-daughter, like the loss of, or tragedy of having the daughter dead. That was loss of, like, in love with tragedy. She's like getting all these different types of experiences with love, and then she finally has it herself, which obviously that was a build-up. But I'm really curious at what are they gonna do now, because I think we all are in agreement that we thought that. But I think we were all in agreement that Gilbert we thought was gonna happen way later. Like, there's still 7 episodes left. We're only halfway done with this
episode 8.
This series. Like,
there's 7, but there's 14 in Violet.
There are 14 episodes. So, like, what are we gonna do now? Which is what I'm thinking, because if we reach the climax, and now I'm really excited to see what happens next. Because this was getting a little bit predictable, I have to say. Like, we knew it was short stories, and it was just going to be Violet developing. They changed it very soon. Way sooner than I expected, so I'm happy. Nice. I'm excited.
I think from here on out, they're going to start developing on the war aspects of the story. Because, like, we're starting to get closer with Gilbert's brother, so it's not like... I feel like the next episode they might cut
thought we were.
They're gonna start like.
We thought we were.
Yeah, I mean, like the
here's
previous
a scene.
episode is like, here's a scene at the end, and then the next episode it's gonna be a full blown like, oh, here's another Violet.
Yeah, it's like the next episode. It's like Violet's completely normal, like nothing happened. She's like, oh well, whatever. It's like
next episode she meets up with Gilbert, and it's like nothing really like.
Then the next episode it's nothing.
Hi, I'm your.
It's like, oh my gosh, I see you again.
Hi, I'm your auto memory doll.
Yeah, it's like we'll go anywhere. We'll never deny, I guess, even the most ridiculous request.
That would be sad though if she got signed up for to write a letter for Gilbert and like she doesn't remember him or something. I don't know. That could be sad though.
I'm pretty sure she remembers. Or like, he doesn't remember her.
Honestly,
what if he gets like all mangled up?
I'm more afraid that she's gonna. What if she like commits suicide?
What the
fuck?
Why?
Now it just ends.
No, but like,
Kyo's in. He's like, we wasted all our budget. We're sorry, guys.
No, but like you hinted it before. She even said herself that she'd rather die.
Yeah. No. I said that it's not really a suicide. I think she would die.
But now she's grown. Now she's grown as a character.
It would be like almost like an altruistic kind of death, maybe. Kind of like she dies for Gilbert.
Well, now she's grown as a character, so now she isn't just major focused. Even though it's a main part of her. It's not like it.
Maybe all the characters that she met before are gonna come together and help her out. That's the prediction.
They're all dead.
No, it's like the end of a Persona game when she sees all like the social links she made, and they come back at the end, and she's like, now I can beat my shadow.
Alright, and on that note, I think we're done. We're done with Violet.
We're done.
I think we're all excited.
And
we're all excited.
For the next one, you mean?
But,
Citrus.
Okay, well, let's get on to Citrus. Let's get on to Citrus.
Oranges, I love.
That's and this is the episode, guys. See you later. Okay. This never happened.
Okay. Let me go first. So, for context, before the show, probably like Thursday, I was talking to Ariana, and she was like, "Man, you know, my favorite character is finally in the show. Her name, and Matsuri, is finally here, and I love her so much." And I was like, maybe I misjudged her in episode 6. Maybe she's a lot better than I thought she would be. And Matsuri has single-handedly made me consider... Okay,
whoa.
We all joked. We all joked about, oh man, we're just waiting for the time where Citrus gets worse than Death March. Episode 7 has seriously made me consider putting Sintrus below Death March. I am so pissed with episode 7. I was about like I've never had an aneurysm during the show before,
but I fell on the ground.
I might as well have gone to the ER because how do I try and reconcile?
I don't know if it was
Matsuri.
I don't know if it was the show like conditioning me that there was going to be bad CG, but I swear to God, there was a scene where the door to their apartment was CG, but nothing else was, and it was just that, and it was super obvious, and I wanted to be like, wait, did I see that? And then there was another scene where Harmon like pops in the frame, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm just losing it. I'm watching it, and I go back, and it happened. She just pops in the frame at one point, and I'm like, I'm losing it. I can't be watching the show right. I'm mentally losing it.
Can we, like, I don't understand why no one else cares about this, though, because, Matsuri, I'm obsessed with how terrible of a character she is.
I love her.
She's in middle school. And is in, like, the super edgy emo
such a complex character.
She's 14 years old. She is 14 years old.
Let's hear the defense.
So when I was seeing her introduction, she's like, oh yeah, I have a job and I just got money from it, and my initial reaction was like, how do you have a job at 14? What do you do? And then Harumin asked the same question, and I'm like, yeah, at least the show knows what I'm wondering.
And then they pulled about the fifth time I had to clear my browser history.
She catfishes people and sends them masturbating.
She's smart.
No, they aren't hers. They aren't hers.
She's
They're other
so
people.
smart.
She's 14.
Think about it.
I mean,
She's 14.
It's
because
not
of
hers.
okay,
It's
well,
obviously not
Ariana
hers.
catfishes
So technically,
everyone.
it's not illegal.
yeah.
It's not hers.
Yeah, but
What are you talking about?
Look.
she like sees them. Asian-san in Japan's 13.
Into NTR. I'm literally watching. Okay, so the vice president was rape, and she just kept trying to rape May. Freaking Matsuri's NTR.
Netorare.
She's just trying to.
Yuzu get
the battle
assaulted
of the
twice this
childhood friends.
episode.
She's just trying to rape Yuzu in front of May.
Yuzu got assaulted
She's 14.
twice. She
Childhood
got
friend
twice
versus childhood
assaulted.
friends.
She is 14. Harumin is getting heated. You know it's serious when Harumin is trying to keep Yuzu away.
No, I like,
Well,
I like
I
how
mean,
Harumin didn't
technically,
say
Harumin
anything, but
was-
she's like, oh yeah, compensated dating, and she's like, nothing. She doesn't say anything. She's like, oh, well.
I mean, like
gotta
Harumin is
leave.
closer to Yuzu than Mei. So, like at this, if something was to interfere between Yuzu and someone else, it would be Harumin. Like, but okay,
I don't understand why this happened.
why what? Why Matsuri showed up
Because
and
clearly, the only reason why I can rationalize Matsuri being here is because this anime was like, we already had the vice president try and get between Yuzu and Mei. Now that they actually like each other, let's bring another even more ridiculous character into the mix.
The funniest thing is like, okay,
you already know that the white-haired twins in the opening are gonna be the
Don't talk about them.
childhood
Let's not
friends of both of
let's
them.
not talk about
What?
this. Wait, can we please not talk about those characters? Oh my god, wait.
This
question.
episode,
The fact
this
that-
episode is the beginning of the end for Citrus. This episode is the
Oh, it
beginning
was
of the
the
end.
end a
I'm
long
so sick
time
of the
ago,
show.
Greg. The first 5 episodes
This is about
of
the
the first
10th
5 minutes of
now.
this episode was the worst for me. I was watching the full
Oh my god, the
scene,
intro.
and I was like, "What am I watching? Am I watching the
intro
right
is so
episode? Did
bad.
I miss something?" And then it turns out she was just dreaming it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, we're on a different level here, boys. We're on a different level."
It was such a bad. It's such a bad.
The fact that
intro.
like May puts her down about like being gay for each other, she was like, it's really bad that we're both girls and we're also sisters, so
And
let's
we're
not do this
sisters.
anymore.
Like, what?
And I was like,
Whoa,
okay,
whoa.
first of all,
What made you
May,
think
you
I was gay
initiated
for
this.
you?
Like, first of all, it was you who initiated it first, so I'm just like, I know. But oh no, the animation.
My favorite
was so
part. My favorite part.
bad.
The spit take she usually did.
Oh,
That
no,
was just like a
that's-
still
that's what
frame.
I was
It
gonna
was like
bring
a
up. I was
still
like-
frame of the juice coming out.
Name a bigger downgrade. Actually,
What? No, but it
we
didn't
can't
start anywhere.
downgrade. It was
didn't
always
start
here.
yet. It didn't start anywhere. I don't know. I think for me, because Death March exists, that I'm going a little easy on Citrus. I mean, it's awful, sure, but
No. Let me tell. I'm serious. I seriously think
No,
that this
don't-
episode may have been worse
No.
than Death March.
No,
I'm
I-
sorry.
no, it
I'm
wasn't.
being 100%
Which
Yeah,
episode of
there's-
Death March are you talking about?
I'm being 100% serious. I think
Certainly
that
wasn't this
was
week.
worse than Death March. We're gonna talk about Death March
no.
later. And but this show, it takes itself too seriously.
That's what makes it
There's,
funny.
like,
No,
there's a
but then
difference between-
That's
it
what makes it
undercuts
funny.
it with scenes there aren't though.
It's not funny. It's not funny when they bring in 14-year-old characters that
Hey,
send fake
this wasn't the-
masturbation pics to old men and then try and
Death March
rape
brought
their
14-year-olds
older
first,
sister
right?
figure.
It was okay.
Okay,
know,
well,
it was
I'm gonna
Death-
like that was my defense, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, but Death March is worth like it's still bad.
March-
It's not a
freaking
good, it's not a
9-year-old
good
looking.
show.
This episode is... You, like, okay,
You can't even talk about it anymore.
God. I can't...
Oh wait, are they supposed to be in
can't
Tokyo?
fathom
Are
this.
they supposed to be in Tokyo for this Citrus?
I can't tell.
Because if
I
they
can't
are,
tell.
what are the chances? What are the chances they ran into May on the way home? What are the chances of that happening?
Wait, did you understand what happened at the end? I don't know if I was, like, losing it, if my mind, like, I dropped IQ, like, my brain cells were just deplenishing. But, like, did you understand the fact, like, she kicked down the sign? I was like, what am I watching anymore? I need a...
Who'd she call?
I don't know anymore. I thought she was...
I'm gonna get May suspended for kicking the sign.
I was like, okay, I should understand what's happening, because I read part of the manga. But then I was like, dude, did this ever happen in the manga? Like, she kicked down the sign, and I thought she was gonna call, like, May or, like, the student council, because then we shifted to the scene of the student council walking and, like, fast-paced, very bad animation, but, like, I was like, okay, I thought she was gonna blame May for it, but that was so stupid. Can we
No, what I don't understand is how Matsuri, who is in middle school, by the way, literally she should be in school, is able to ditch school, where are her parents, and then trespass into a different high school. She literally just walks into a different high school and then gets mad that she's kicked out of private property.
They stopped Yuzu for not being dress code, but she wasn't. But Matsuri wasn't. She just walked in there.
Well, yeah, because
like,
she's
and
like
she had pink hair. And she had pink hair.
She's an outsider. She's obviously not going to be going to the school, so the rules doesn't.
They let her walk in though, like willy nilly.
But why did you just let her walk in?
First of all, the school is gated. Like the school is gated. She could have just jumped over the freaking.
But it's an open gate. Though. It was an open gate. We saw it.
Jump over the
fence.
Yeah, just jump over the fence or the wall or whatever they got.
She didn't jump over. She went through it. It was an open gate. We saw it. You two let her out.
Oh my. Oh yeah.
She literally walked in. They're like, "Oh, that's weird."
I'm so done with this.
I don't know, Greg. What got to you so much in this episode? That was just inexcusable. That you were already suspecting.
What got to me was I was expecting. Initially, character. I thought she's probably going. I was like, because I knew that she was. I knew she was bad news as soon as I saw her. But I expected, I anticipated that she would be a foil, like how the vice president was with May. I thought she would be like how the vice president, version with Yuzu. I did not expect it to be. I didn't think that a more annoying character than the vice president.
It's
could
just
exist.
her voice.
And
they ruined her.
They
ruined her. They did her dirty.
Pretty bad.
They did her dirty.
No, even if she.
I agree. Okay,
it's not her character.
She kind of foils her if you think about it.
It's the fact that she's actually she's so incomprehensibly
smart,
immoral. And doesn't care, and she's 14.
Stop.
Okay, look.
Can we just ignore the fact that there's obviously an age problem in this anime? But
no, I can't ignore it.
You don't get the free pass.
She's literally
give Citrus a free pass, okay? There's only one
character. I think the thing is, like, now that they don't have a plot really beyond their romance, I don't care. Like, I didn't care to start with, but I care even. Well, it was like, May has her daddy issues, so at least there was something else going on. But now it's just the romance. That's it, and I don't care. I certainly don't. So then all we're getting is like, now May's jealous. It's like, I don't care. Like I did this. I mean, I can watch romance. Like I'm watching Violet, and that's fine because it's interesting. I watch Citrus, and it's like, oh man, I wonder if they're gonna get together. I wonder if they when Yuzi says herself like, even if it's not practical, I'm gonna like it right now. It's like, it's not practical though. It's not gonna go anywhere. What are you expecting? Like, why are you putting so much effort into it?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, but
all I'm saying is, we're running out of time, so all I'm gonna say is that.
And that's it for this episode,
folks.
The
next show on our list didn't exist. If the next show on our list didn't exist,
we said that.
I would kill myself. I would kill myself.
Well, if Death March didn't exist.
I don't know what I'm saying. I'm too tired. Let's just get into Death March.
Yeah, this is the worst show I've ever seen in my entire life.
Tired.
Hands down.
No, okay. Since I decided to go on the Citrus may as well be worse than Death March this episode.
No.
I am going to say.
No.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it. No, let's hear him out.
If I'm gonna defend Death March, here it is.
Oh god.
There was legitimately no food.
No, there was the close-up on the sandwiches. There was the close-up on the sandwiches.
Hear me out.
There was.
No, we're not hearing you out. That was the worst comment you could have ever made about this anime.
There was the close-up on when they ate. There was the close-up on the sandwiches. There was food.
Oh
I mentioned.
my God.
No, okay, calm down. Hold on. I mentioned last episode, like, oh man, they went 8 minutes without food. This episode, they actually took steps, even when food was mentioned, that they don't care about it as much. They're like, oh yeah, let's go meet like this new character. Let's not stop and eat food and waste time for hours.
Yeah,
like they literally
Lolly.
even said that.
It's cool because she's 100 years old.
Or they had so many opportunities to like show Mia eating the porridge or Satu like having lunch, they didn't follow.
Wow, this porridge is textured really thick.
No, it's because that they didn't have enough time to describe all the beautiful taste. Each sandwich
they would have if they could
have. That's the thing. There's progress. That means there's a plot.
I know. I
Yes,
realize
it's
something.
progress,
I realize, no.
I wouldn't say it would be good progress.
There's progress.
It would say it was good progress. I'd say it's equally bad progress.
This week, it made clear to me, Death March, this week, that they have never left the vicinity of the town. They haven't gone anywhere.
They haven't.
But this is a fantasy show. So how are you going to world build from one town? You haven't gone anywhere.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. They go to a farmer's market, they eat lunch, they talk about a new character. That's every episode.
That's why Satu, he needs to meet every single member of his harem, and
There's
then
not enough
But there's like 20 members.
Not enough episodes.
He buys the harem.
Gonna be over by the time we meet them all.
There is no plot. What is happening? Like in the last two episodes, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, let's go defeat the demon lord or something.
When they pause on the owls. They paused on the owls. I lost it. It was so funny.
It was so bad.
No. Okay, can we talk about? Okay, so you know how Satu's buying this horse-drawn wagon, and he's acting like he's a merchant, and I'm just trying to suspend my disbelief. He says he gives the lady 18 gold coins. 18 gold coins.
It transfers into 27 silver coins.
It's equivalent to 72 silver, which means, according to last episode, he could buy 36 mansions with the same money that he put into
that is a good point.
Wagon.
Well, I don't get that scene. Like he realizes, he checks the price with his visor, his like overlay, and then he's like, "I'll just give her more or something."
He's like, oh yeah, well I understand what she's trying to say. Here's a reasonable amount of gold that is too much.
But he saw how much it was. But he saw exactly how much it was.
And he questioned himself. He was like, was that a little too much or something? Or
then why'd you give it all to her?
Currency, I admit, shouldn't play that big of a role in a fantasy world, like when it's not the point.
What's the point? They never left the town. There is no point to the show.
Yeah, there is really no point in the show. Just fuck them up already. There's no point.
Yeah, who's the big bad? Who's the big bad? Well, who's the big bad? Like we have no
demon lord.
The demon king.
The demon lord.
But he doesn't have to. He's dead. He's dead.
You're gonna fight a demon lord at the end of the.
It doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter because he's 100% over leveled. There's no conflict.
I hate myself.
I can't do this
anime anymore. Legitimately makes myself like I'm this close to ending it all.
I feel like it tries to make you think stuff is happening, but if you go back and look, nothing's happened. Not anything. All he's done is gotten more child slaves.
Your favorite anime?
Okay, no. Can we mention though? Like, we really need to re-mention those freaking demi-human monstrosities.
Oh my god, they're so gross, dude.
Holy shit. I'm like, are you serious? Are you
so
serious?
Gross,
do we really need to see those things again? We really did not.
And if someone's like, oh, they're cute. If someone's like, oh, they're cute, though, it's like, okay, then why aren't Pochi and whatever face it, or Tama like that?
Pochi and Tama,
would you think they were as cute if they were like that, huh?
What are they? Like, what
I don't know.
Oh my God. Saying what
they're
are.
So gross.
Like, Satu makes this big deal being like, oh, what's a demi-human? But he doesn't even question these bipedal dogs with togas. He's like, oh, I guess
he gave up. I think he gave up.
In a fantasy world.
I think he realized, oh, this plot isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, he's just like, you know what? I shouldn't even be questioning about all these things anymore. Can we talk about the fact that then, like Lulu, the dark-haired girl, is so irrelevant to the show?
Oh yeah, because everyone else has a purpose.
Like every like 5 seconds, there would be like a 5-second little clip about her, and there's just like, oh, how are you doing? Are you doing well? She's like, yeah, and then it just like we leave her, and it's not, she's irrelevant.
It's
and
like,
then
hey,
for
you
some
good?
reason,
Yeah, okay.
No, she's relevant.
And then she's like, oh, isn't Arisa so cool?
Satu to drive.
This anime would have been.
She taught Satu to drive.
They would have invested. They could have. If we took out that character, we could have invested more time about food porn to talk about food. You know that,
Well, I
right?
thought they were gonna leave the city where they're like, oh, we're gonna escort the elf girl Mia out, but then they're like, oh,
God.
nope, there's this owl that we're gonna pause on, and now he's in this, and we're back in the town again. They can't leave. They're trapped there. They cannot leave. I feel like the anime, like, in the light novel, they like left by now, but the anime studio's like, dude, we don't have the budget for more like backgrounds. Like we can't afford anything else. You have to keep it there. You have to keep
It's
it
like
here.
that one pop team. It's like that one pop team 4 comment.
No, okay. Speaking of no budget in animation, so you know the camping montage, right?
Oh my God.
Oh, you mean the frame? Oh, you mean the picture? You mean the slideshow?
Yeah, okay,
the slideshow.
Okay.
The slideshow.
Okay. Hear me out. So, when they're making this fire pit, right, and the fire is going, I'm about 80% sure that I saw the same fire animation in Adobe After Effects. Because that was
Got 'em. Expose them.
CGI.
Expose Silverlink for who they really
I was
are.
about to cry.
It's not even like they wasted it on anything. They didn't even waste because nothing's impressive about this show.
Like,
I can't do it. I don't know why I'm getting the show. It can still get me mad.
Too much.
And usually,
I can't talk about.
like Sintrus can't get me mad because I'm not expecting anything. I can get annoyed, but I can't get mad. Death March, I'm not expecting anything, and it still gets me mad because it's that bad.
No, but like, see, the thing is though, at this point, it's actually the opposite for me. I'm just tired. Like,
You mean are you
But,
MP
before-
deprived? MP deprivation?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
very
you know,
similar
I
to
need a
the
map
MP
post.
deprivation
I need a map
syndrome.
post.
You see, when the Lich King
That's
says
what's
blah blah blah,
Okay,
What
can we
are you
talk
talking
about?
about?
Can we talk about the fact that they can afford 36 mansions with the amount of 18 gold bits, but they can't afford little like potion
bits or
things
something
for MP deprivation? Like,
Yeah,
how
I don't
bad
know.
is MP
I-
deprivation?
he's rich. He has like infinite money.
Yeah,
Makes sense
exactly,
So
that's
when
what
he's
I'm
on the
talking
list.
about.
So the
Infinite
money doesn't
money.
even matter.
Why does he have to be a merchant with all this?
No,
I
okay.
don't know.
And wait, how does
okay,
he not
the
know?
thing-
How
the
does he
thing
not know elf language yet? Because he never heard it before. So what language is he
It
speaking?
doesn't matter.
needs to
It doesn't
boost
matter
his
because he
language
has
skill tree. Come
like
on.
a universal skill where he can understand all languages. But my question is,
But why
how
did he
do
learn
other
it? Why did he
characters-
ask her and then
how
he get
do
the skill
other
for
characters? Is Mia like talking in the same language as everyone else? Because I don't understand if there's like a language barrier between all the other characters. How come we can like they can understand each other? Like,
Yeah, is there like a common
there a-
tongue? Did they ever
yeah,
say
is
like,
there-
oh, this is common? I have no idea.
I don't know. Well, the thing that I'm gonna nitpick is so they treat the lolly slave girls as like the most idiotic and like unworldly characters ever. Like they don't know what a kettle is, and they're like, "Oh, the kettle person's mad."
I
And I'm
hated
like,
that scene
okay, look,
so
you're slaves.
much.
I get it. You're slaves,
And
You-
they're
you-
also,
you
like,
don't
5
know
years
much about the
old,
world,
so-
but they're treating them like they're autistic. Like, there's a difference between not knowing something and just giving them such
Being retarded.
idiocy
Did
and-
you listen to?
Oh, what,
did
what-
you listen
what-
to?
your kettle friend's mad? What
Did
are
you
you
listen to
talking
Ars's,
about?
like-
let
Me? What?
like okay the lightning scene right?
Let's not talk about
Every
that.
single person in his harem is scared of lightning. Here's why I think.
Oh, no.
apparently.
So they can
I
have a
don't
scene of them
understand.
all grappling
So
onto
Mia, an elf that has been alive for 138 years, has never seen lightning in her
Well,
life.
I mean, she lived in
those-
like the
she's been
magical
alive
forest.
for a century.
Think about it. The
Yeah,
magical
but it
forest
had
could
to
be
have rained.
protected
Lightning
from
in her
like.
life?
It rained.
Apparently, and then apparently the lollies think that the freaking lightning's a person and is angry as always because they're retarded. And then, but Arisa, the girl that was reincarnated and she lived in Japan for most of her life, is terrified of lightning.
Why? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
so
there are
she- yeah,
people.
she-
There are people
she's
in
like,
real
why are you
life
scared?
who
It's
are
like, I just
actually
say,
afraid of
what?
lightning. Well, at least she knows what lightning is.
No,
At least she knows what lightning
Technically,
is.
she's like
There
30.
is no reason.
Cut her some
There is
slack.
no
Well, what if
reason
she
for
actually
why
did
all
have?
What do
of
you mean
them
cut her
should
some
have been
slack?
What if
Who's
she
scared of
had
lightning?
fear
She's
for
3 years
lightning?
old. What
if
are
she
you
was-
talking about? Cut her some slack.
She could just
She's
get a chronic
older
fear.
than Satu. She's older than him.
Not in this world. I mean, like mentally, yeah, she's
I don't
older,
care if
but
it's not in this world. In compounded time, she's like older than him. No.
Wait, can we just talk about the explanation with the stupid steam thing coming out from the kettle? Oh my god, I could not understand what she was trying to say.
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
it's
oh
like
my God,
science. It's like,
please
well, you
don't
see, it
talk about
changes
this.
states to a gas, and then the pressure builds, and it's
No.
like, I don't care. What are you talking about? This is a fantasy show.
Oh my god, please
Okay,
buy me a hat that
so
says.
Arisa, she says that water gets 1,000 times bigger when it turns to vapor.
Oh,
Then
yeah, it's
Satu
like, oh,
turns
actually,
to a
it's
smartass.
1,699.
Satu turns into a smartass. And so she
I was
goes
like,
first. He's
please
like, oh, it's
end
1,699. The actual statistic is 1,700. He said
What a nerd.
1,699, and he's still wrong. It's not even the right number.
But the better question is, why does he know that? He's a developer, he's a game developer. Why does he
He's a
know that
computer
property of
developer.
water? So I give up. I give up. I gave up on my gave up. I'm like 3 gives up deep.
Please be patient, I have autism.
I'll be honest though. There's a reason why this is probably the funniest section of like the podcast. This show is just so fun to get mad at. Like I have a blast.
Oh, yeah,
on this.
That's the one reason you watch
We
Death
all-
March, just to make fun of it. See, the
We
thing
all
is, you
have-
couldn't watch this enough. You couldn't binge this series because you die. You die from overexposure.
Yeah,
you have
die.
to watch
You
it
die
like
from
this,
it. It's
like
gonna be like a
weekly.
death march, like an actual death march.
It's you have to take it in
yeah.
doses, because if you take it all at once, I can only imagine some person recommends this to their friend, and it's like,
Oh my god.
oh dude, you gotta binge this series, and they do, and they're dead. It's like, oh, another
No,
death
no,
march
imagine-
case, is
I
it?
mean, apparently some of Ariana's followers
Oh, yeah.
are into that.
But in the end,
was
I
like,
asked them, I
"Are
was like, are you being
serious?"
for real? And they're like, oh no, it's just a joke. But like, okay, so like imagine going up to a person and they say like, oh, I want to watch anime. And they're asking you for a good like recommendation for their first anime. And you give them this. Well, imagine them watching all throughout all these episodes and be like, you know what, this anime was really good. You know, it really hit.
Well, I guess if you have nothing to compare it to, you can't be upset about it. They're like, wow, is this good? Well, honestly, this is probably the best first anime because everything's better. You go show them Sintrus and they're like, what? It can get this good? Don't show them Violet, they'll
No,
die.
okay, I
They'll die if
debate you
they see
because
Violet.
I'm. Oh my god. Okay, well we're really over time. As always with Death March, so we gotta stop. We gotta move on.
Okay.
So
It's pop
okay,
tea.
we're on. It's pop tea.
Pop
You mean
tea.
he'll shake? Yeah,
Breathe.
no.
Someone else.
Was that all one take? Because if that was all one take, that's
Yeah,
like the
that
most.
was one-
That's like the
definitely
most
all-
impressive
that was the
shot
most-
ever.
Yeah.
I came. I came.
You
from
came?
watching
You came.
Death
I came.
March.
I
Death
came.
March-
It was that good. It was that good.
I mean, honestly,
I came.
probably- no, I went from watching Death March and Sintrus consecutively, which I've never done before, by the way, because I always like splitting them up. But I just like.
Oh well,
I
welcome
didn't,
to
and
my
I
world,
wasn't
Greg. That's what
thinking.
I do every week. And
I
you
was-
wonder why
I was-
I'm like losing
I was on
it.
the verge of. I was on the verge of like suicide, and then I watched this Hellshake Yano bit, and it was the
Oh,
most
it's
amazing
a breath
thing
of
I've ever
freaking fresh
seen in my
air,
life.
dude. It's beautiful.
That flip book sequence, that must have I couldn't even count them all, but there must have been at least 6 different flip books that were perfectly coordinated between 2 guys. This was
Who
like
were voice acting
this was
it in
probably,
real
tied
time,
with the
too.
3rd longest skit ever. That were voice acting it in real time. This was incredible.
Yeah, that might be the most
Yes.
impressive thing they've done. Honestly.
Yeah, the most impressive long skit they've done, and probably the best Bob. What was that? Bob Team Epic skit.
Bob T. Yeah, that was
Like
a Bob.
when I
Bob
first saw it,
Team.
it pulled up with a Bob Team Epic, and I was like, oh no, And then they had this, and I was like, you know what? I actually, I love Bob.
You redeemed
Team Epic.
yourself.
I love Bob Team Epic.
This
You know what?
episode
I came.
felt like it had a lot
I
of I can't. This episode felt like it had a lot of stuff. I felt like it had like a million skits. This one felt so packed full of stuff.
Yeah.
Like they just kept going from the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, and it felt good. Like it went well. This is probably the most content-packed episode of Pop Team yet.
It was a bunch of laughs. It was a bunch of feel-good vibes, bro.
A lot of gaming references too.
Undertale.
Oh no!
When they brought up
don't say it.
When they brought up subculture
Don't say
bitches
it.
on board, and
Don't
then they
say
bring
it.
out
They
Sans
reference
By the way,
Undertale.
guys, Caden
They
hates
reference
Undertale.
Sans?
Caden hates Undertale.
Yeah, and they reference Undertale.
Subculture bitch
By the
on
way,
board.
Caden
Hey!
hates Undertale, so, let's
Are
just-
Paprika and Pee-Pee need
God.
sands and papyrus? It's just a theory.
No!
A game theory.
Oh, no.
An anime
Pee-Pee's
theory.
nest.
Forbidden. That's cursed. Don't
God.
ever say that again. Not in this podcast.
I like how they
No, what
remix the ending theme to the 8-bit. That was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was one of my favorite 4-coma slides. Like the one where it's like, the game
game
one.
one.
Such a classic.
I'm done.
done with this
I'm
game.
This
done.
game is shit. I'm done with this game.
Go right back to
Right
it.
back. The life cycle of a League player, essentially. That's
Or
that's
any
what
game.
that
I'm
should
done
be
with this
called.
game. Okay, let me get back to it.
Gosh. And then so what one of the weirdest skits for me, the one where Papaco turns into a baby, and then
baby,
like, gives her roses.
baby.
And then like Pee-Pee gives her a rose and is like, "Oh, I'll wait for you so that we can go to the same high school." And I'm like, "Is this a reference to all the lolly animes?"
This isn't. I feel like this was like I don't know. There's probably an anime out there who has the same reference and same plot thing. I don't know.
I mean, that's kind of what you're always asking yourself about the show. It's like, this has to be a reference.
Yeah, you're watching something. It's
This
like,
is too
okay,
random.
there's no way this is original. Yeah, I mean, there's some original skits like freaking Hell Shake Yano, but like, there's got to be some.
Even that I feel is probably like a
references.
parody of like.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that could be a
Hell Shake Yano,
reference.
by
You
the
know?
way. I don't know. Hell Shake Yano 2, it was a joke that they set up an episode ago.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Brought it back.
just so amazed.
So technically, it is a
was.
reference to the previous episode. So it's a reference.
You get.
But-
This is like one of the only shows I think you should binge if you're watching all of this at once, because it kind of flows together well, and it doesn't like kill you on the inside like some of our other shows. No, I think the cooking
God.
segments are probably my favorite because they're just weird enough, but they're not like super referential, so you can like anyone could watch.
No,
those,
okay,
and it's
what
like funny.
The thing that confused me about like the cooking skit was the only difference in the recipe between a hamburger and a compressed manatee is there's 100 grams of manatee for a hamburger, and there's 300 grams of manatee, and manatee spelled with an I instead of two E's. So that's what gives it.
Do they have manatees
the-
in Japan? Do they have Japanese
I mean,
manatees?
don't they eat like
I have
dolphins
no
and
idea.
sharks?
They
That
eat
might
whales.
be a bit too controversial, but
Yeah.
Manatees aren't manatees endangered? Isn't
Hey,
that,
they're the
like,
cows
not
of the
allowed?
sea. Well, not
So,
just
yeah.
as they are anymore.
Well,
I think they're getting
I
better.
guess.
It's like a bald eagle. It's like it gets better because everyone freaked out
Yeah.
when they're like, "This is endangered. We have to stop." But no, that was good.
We have
I
to
like how
stop
it was
eating
gray.
them.
Like the patty was gray, like a manatee. Like it's not even the meat color; it's just gray. Like they. Oh man.
Yeah, it looks like one of those
Oh, by the
Krabby
way,
Patties.
did you translate the French skit for us again?
They had it translated
Yeah,
on
they
the
had a
site I watched.
translation.
It was literally like, oh wow, isn't this scene so? Well, the guy says like, the weather differences between North and South France are super different because in the North it rains all the time, in the South it's pretty.
Mhm.
So it's them taking a picture in front of a
Yeah,
place
so
in southern
technically-
France,
Yeah.
and then it's the joke punchline is that they're in northern France and it's raining and it sucks.
Yeah.
Which basically is Paris, which is Paris, by the way.
They're making fun of,
Oh my
of
God.
France and its shitty weather.
I
see.
like
They really have something against France.
No, I think like
the French guy animated it.
Yeah, the French guy.
animated it.
There's actually apparently like some.
There-
I guess there's like special like international like people or like animators who work with the studios.
Huh.
Because, like...
Dream job.
More you know.
I mean, that makes sense, because they have, like,
Yeah.
more, like, universal... They want to expand their knowledge of, like, these references. Because it's not just Japanese and American, like, jokes.
Yeah.
American jokes.
Well,
Where's our American segment?
I don't know. I think we might have talked about almost every skit. Jeez.
I want an American segment.
I guess Undertale counts. Undertale's from America.
Shut up. Shut up. We don't talk about that.
And then
I got upset. I'm like, wait, is this a Metatron? Is this a Metatron thing? Oh no, it is. It is. That's bad. Do they like Undertale in Japan? They must, I guess. If they got reference. You know what? It's probably It's probably right up their alley too. Now that I think about it, which is a sad thing.
Well, yeah, because it's just Toho. It's just Toho. That's all Undertale
It's
is.
Toho.
Wow.
It's just Toho.
It's just
Like,
Cave Story.
It's just a reskinned version of Toho, except instead of cute girls, it's
But it's
skeletons.
furry. It's furries and skeletons and scalies.
God.
Oh,
Ugh, controversial topics.
boo! This isn't our gaming podcast. though.
Yeah. Yeah. Well then, what else is there? Oh yeah, so the Blu-ray version.
Oh, that's
Classic.
waifu.
I think that basically confirmed that Papaku is better than Peep-Me.
Well, we haven't seen.
Team
That basically
Papuko.
confirmed it.
We haven't
Team
seen. We haven't seen
Papuko.
Peep-Me.
Team Papuko.
Team
We haven't seen
Papuko.
Peep-Me. We haven't seen
Team-
Peep-Me's Blu-ray version yet. We haven't seen
I don't
it.
know. Team
Peep-Me is
Papago
a
all the way.
subculture bitch.
Team Papago.
Puh.
Yeah, don't be a subculture.
Your life has
bitch.
been spared.
We
I
have.
spit a nail at you.
We have.
Can we talk about how IGN loves Pop Team Epic but doesn't even make a reference to Violet Evergarden? It's like they had a little
Oh,
thing
yeah,
where it's like,
'cause
14 anime
they're
that you should watch this
subculture
season because it's
bitches.
really good. And they don't even have freaking Violet Evergarden. But you know, they didn't have Death March either, so.
Oh, if they had Death March, I was gonna lose it. Like, whoa, this Death March is really good.
I was literally going
I'm
to like
Jeff
start
Kaplan.
to file a
It's like
complaint on
stick to
IGN.
video games. No,
I'm
stick
like,
to
alright,
video games.
IGN,
though.
you.
Let's stick to video games.
This is the final straw. I'm sorry, IGN, but
I'm gonna
I
give
can't.
Celeste a 10 out of 10 because it dealt with really serious topics.
Shut the
Shut
fuck
up.
up.
Yeah. But Persona 5 is a solid 9.7 from me. Shut up.
Yeah, too much water. There's too much water. in
Pokemon's a
Persona
solid
5.
2
There's too much
because there's a lot
torrential
of
rain.
water, even though this is a remake of a game that's 10 years old. Shut up, IGN.
Oh my god.
Once again, not the video game podcast.
Alright, well, since we're clearly off topic, we might as well just move on
Junji.
anyway. So,
Junji
Junji.
yeah, Junji.
Junji Ito.
Clean transition.
I like this episode because I felt like the directing was really good. Not necessarily the animation, but it was directed well.
Yes.
Mm.
This was definitely
A step up.
actually, yeah,
It's a
I guess
step up
I
from the
really do
previous
agree with
episode.
that. Because the thing is, like, barely anything happened. But you're right. The direction was good enough that you still felt pretty unsettled, no matter what.
Yeah, it was
Like,
creepily shot.
It was really, yeah, it was just really creepy. Like,
I liked it.
used record. Like that was a volume where, if you think about it, nothing actually happened. Like,
You're not wrong.
Sure,
well,
like
actually, I mean, she
People
hit her
died,
with a rock.
but like,
Yeah,
they were stupid. They were just stuck because
Yeah,
they're
she's like,
stupid.
hit him with a rock.
I'm
But,
like,
like-
wow, okay.
but like the way that like the record itself, there were like so many different pauses of silence, and then it was like this really like creepy,
Oh,
like just there was
you know
no
what?
like there were no
Yeah.
words to it.
Okay,
It was just like
this was one of the
no.
episodes where I was like about to like close my eyes with like I wanted to, like, you know how it starts to zoom in and it was like a slow transition towards the face and stuff like that, and then we saw
like, that
it was a
was
still
where-
frame of like her eye, and the song was just so creepy. I thought that the eye was gonna like start to like move.
Yeah,
and then
I thought
that's
that
why
was
I was
too.
freaking
And
out. I was
like,
like, oh
trying to
my
look
god,
away.
oh my god, do it. I know, I'm just like, it's scary, but I want to see it happen, but it didn't happen. But you know, either way, it gave me that
then-
fear factor. It's so I'm gonna give them the
Yeah,
points.
this was so good at giving fear factor without like any jump
Yeah.
scares actually happening.
Yeah.
Well, besides the guy that was like on the other side of the.
Oh yeah.
That wasn't
fence.
really a jump scare.
No, like,
Well, the first one was scary.
well, I mean,
it was
it
scary
clearly scared
up
her
until...
enough to kill.
It was scary up until they said what the name of the song is, and then I couldn't take it seriously anymore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Paula Bella's scat.
Paula Bell's scat.
Wah, 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 wah. Boo.
No, but
Not
Go
Paula Bell's
home,
scat.
fetish people. Please tell me you guys don't have a thing for that.
No.
Okay, cool.
Well,
okay,
I
we
mean-
can move on. no,
I mean,
no.
we know that Ariana has her thing of NTR.
Boar, she's in the boars,
but-
so.
She's into
Step
Vor
one.
and NTR, so...
I mean, if this was
know that
Paula
much.
Bell's Vor mixtape or something, maybe I would be more interested. But
Paula Bell's foot fetish thing. Paula Bell's trap. Well, trap's music too. It's just like a
Trap music.
mixtape.
Yeah.
Trap music. Yeah.
trap
That'd be
music.
Trap
cool.
mixtape.
That's what Greg's
No,
into.
God. No, I really don't know what else to say about this one, just because, like...
It was kind of
a
short.
record-
It was kind of short, though. Like, I'm glad they didn't
Yeah, it
drag
was
it on
short.
too long. Because they could have.
You know,
Yeah.
they could have stopped it.
They
They could
coulda,
have stopped
but-
it at the part where they were explaining about the song, and then it zooms into the girl's face, and then like just leave it at that creepy shot. They could have stopped it there, and it would have been scarier. But they dragged it on a bit, and you know.
People have to die. They had to give
I
Greg
don't know,
the
I
satisfying
think it's just, like, the
conclusion.
implication. I know, I was okay with that ending, just because, like, it was unsettling. The entire time I was unsettled.
Yeah.
Even after it ended, I was
I was
like...
unsettled that she killed her with a rock.
You're so right. The directing was really good
Yeah,
this episode.
they did a really good job. See, that's the thing about Studio Dean, because they do like JoJo too. It's like that they can direct well because their animation isn't the best in the world, but they can direct the shots good. They also have a really bad problem with censoring
Yeah.
stuff, which I'm sure you saw this episode for sure. Where it's just like black splotch over what's happening, because that's for the Blu-ray people. They definitely did that in JoJo all the time. Like Killer Queen blows you up. It's like, oh, okay, but we're gonna throw a big black splotch over it though. But we're gonna throw a black splotch over it. It's like Jotaro's smoking, but he's underage. No, he's not. we put black over his face. He's not doing anything.
Well, let's get on to the second volume, because that's probably
That one was a step
Star
up.
of the show.
Spooky
I like
for me.
I like
Star of
this
the
one.
show.
That was the start of the show.
I was disappointed because
And
I
I'll be
actually know this
honest-
story. They actually cut it a little
Oh,
because it's actually a little bit longer than
Oh,
this, but they had to
so,
cut
like,
it for this.
it's like what happened.
Because to be honest, this was the only volume probably in Ito Junji where, like, so after Use Record, like there were like about 18 minutes left because Use Record was so short. This was like the only volume where I actually had to pause the stream, and then think there are 12 minutes left of this. I'm not sure I can get through 12 minutes of this because like I feel like something ridiculously horrifying is gonna happen. Like this unsettled me to the point where I was waiting for it to end. I was like, "There's only 12 minutes left. You can do
It's
this."
like hurry up.
This was so good
Yeah.
at directing, and realistically, again, barely anything happened. Once again with this, barely anything happened, but it was just terrifying. Ugh.
Yeah, those cucumber eye people, they were almost as scary as the kids from Death March. Very close.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Anime with
What
the
was the
bad
story supposed to be?
Like, what do you mean what they cut from it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did they cut?
There was more stuff about the Aristotle method. Like, it was building up it already being creepy from that kid, like, sneaking into a room. Because they kind of played it off like, oh, we're just doing this so we can get to the really scary stuff. But that part's super unnerving, too. Because it literally starts off with her, like, starting to dream about this kid for no reason. Then her brother's like, yeah, I heard someone in your room last night. And she's like, what? And then it picks up where it left off. Or where it started, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, because like I sort of thought it was kind of weird that they jumped, because I thought the Aristotle method would be elaborated on more, but then it just went straight to privacy and having none of it, and I was like, well, I guess because I thought initially that this was going to be like everything was like a dream, almost like long dreams, where
Yeah, that's what I was
instead
wondering
of
too.
just like
Yeah.
and that was what I thought it would be like. but then they took a completely different route, and I'm almost kind of disappointed that they lost their opportunity to use something as creepy as, like, if you whisper in someone's ear, it manipulates their dream. Because that could have been a cool volume on its own, but...
Well, yeah, that's kind of what it did. Like, it explored it more creepily. In this one, it was just kind of a means to an end to get to the privacy.
This one was kind of weird, because, like, I felt like they kind of built upon the extension. Like, I felt like there was a lot of extra things going on that was a little bit too unnecessary. Like, like, she was trying to find her aunt, and then she enters into this world where, like, privacy is, like, not allowed or anything, and it's just, like, it feels so extra. Like, they could have just cut it off and had something else, just like what Greg said. Would have went to
I'm
the
pretty
thing
sure.
Is, though,
go on.
Oh well, yeah. The thing is, with at least with this show from Junji Ito, they kind of established, especially with the opening, that this is going to be an absurdist psychedelic like horror trip. So in that way, I don't really think anything can be considered extra. I just think it's the fact that Junji Ito is an absurdist horror writer. So I wasn't really mad that they missed their opportunity there, but
I was pretty mad.
Yeah, you are right though.
Well,
I was slightly disappointed, but yeah.
This is actually based on like a real place. Like there's a slum in like Hong Kong. There's like a slum in Hong Kong where it's just like they illegally kept building on it, so it was just like a couple blocks of just houses. And you had to go through like people's houses to get places. Then it burned down. And
that's awesome. Died. That's actually really cool.
Or wait, no, they destroyed it. They destroyed it because they thought it was going to burn down. Oh. And a lot of people died.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
But the concept of that's really interesting. The concept of walking through people's houses and just breaking into their breaking and entering, but like they wouldn't mind
until it happens to you.
Oh, but
oh my gosh!
But I love
to a world beyond imagination.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
Hey God.
Welcome to Junji Ito.
To Black Mirror. Oh my gosh.
Junji Ito is it's kind of like the Black Mirror, like the Twilight Zone of anime, something like that. If you think about it.
Huh.
Except you don't really learn a lesson.
All right.
I don't think.
Yeah, you learn not to go into those kind of
You
weird
learn
places.
not to go into a mysterious complex that is literally filled with just houses,
it's
and you go
fault.
And follow a strange masked man.
Yeah,
it's not her fault.
A strange masked man.
Her parents kept poking holes in her room. The sound effect of her stabbing
where's she gonna go now?
Was the creepiest sound effect.
Yeah.
That literally gave me the spooks there. Jumped me.
No, where is she gonna go? Like, is she just gonna go back?
Did she die?
Who knows?
And have to.
Who knows?
I don't know. I feel like do.
I don't know.
Maybe she'll be lost there forever.
All right.
Hang out with her aunt.
Who knows?
Get naked.
Oh,
fan service.
Yeah,
thanks, Junji.
You know why you wanna.
Junji's fan service.
Nice. Okay. Well, we're a little bit over. So, anything else before we move on?
I liked it. It's confirming my faith in
it. Needs.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I liked it too. So, yes. In that case, let's get on to ramen. The next one.
Bleh.
All right.
Boy. Now they're doing that thing again where they have to introduce a whole bunch of like other people because they're starting a new arc. So they're like, okay, here's 20 people. Remember them? Okay.
Wait. I just want to say something. The thing is, like, we cut off from the baseball thing that just happened last episode. So that's what ticked me off. I was like, okay, so we're just gonna do this again?
Yeah,
and you didn't have another baseball reference from the game that we just cut off from Banba's friend, and I guess we're closing that arc because she belongs in that previous arc. Is she never gonna come back or something? And
she will.
See, I don't know.
She better.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you because this was one of those episodes where I thought I was watching episode 8 and not episode 7 because it just jumped and I was like, "What?" It's
pulling a Violet Evergarden, but not a good one.
Yeah, and I think at least
I don't trust him to go back to it.
Yeah, well, I think I do trust them to come back to it because this was sort of like the entire point of this episode was there were so many like they hit you with like thousands of different details and you had no idea what exactly everything was leading to, and I couldn't make sense of anything until like about when there were 5 minutes left in the episode and everything started to tie together, and I was like, oh, I guess that was a cool moment.
Well, like it's like the first
like,
episode again. It really did remind me of the first episode where it's like, here's the groups, here are the people in them, and this is what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So like in that way, it's kind of exciting, but in the other way, it's one of those episodes, and it's a lot of people.
It's a setup episode. It's a setup episode.
Yeah. It's definitely a setup episode, but I completely agree with you, Ariana. I have no idea what happened to, like, Tsuruchi and Sayuri. Because, like, they were kind of cool.
I mean, like, Kaden's probably right. They might come back, but, like, for probably in a different side of the arc, and then maybe after that, they would lead off to...
I don't know. This arc looks like they're not going to talk about him at all. I wouldn't expect them until after this arc.
I mean, it depends, because we honestly don't know what part of what she does for Banba, because apparently they have connections in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, I think we have a good idea of what she does for Banba.
I mean, we don't. I mean, first of all, Banba doesn't need her that way because he's got Lin.
Yeah.
He's got Lin. Ladies. Hey, yo, screw
I don't know
women.
You're gagging,
leave
Greg.
Leave women in 2017. We have Lin. But can we talk about the fact that the person's name is Macro Hard?
That's
Black
my
leg.
Man.
Okay. Yeah, that was a little bit.
Sanji.
And then
I hate Enokita. I like he's my least favorite character, and then this whole arc's just him.
Saito is my least favorite character.
No, Sato's awesome because he always gets crap for not doing anything.
He's like the scapegoat because he's always he's the big pinpoint problem. Is where all these
he didn't do anything.
Things are happening to them. Exactly, like the writers are using him as a person to like as a singular source to have a problem. It's just like, oh, we have to have this person.
But it's funny because it's like something always bad happens to him. It's like, oh man, something bad happened. It's probably happened to Saito.
Yeah, now like, he's gonna have another plastic surgery to change his face.
Change. By the end of the season, he's just like a trap, basically. Like he had to change so much.
Oh yeah.
Well, like they had you think it was gonna be like, oh, maybe he got involved with the wrong crowd or something. But it was they're like, nope, we just picked him randomly. Like, what are the chances?
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. There are some things about this episode where I was like, what the heck is happening? Because apparently Enokita is just like the son of a freaking congressman, and I was like, okay, I guess that's a thing.
It's like a Persona backstory.
You know, he apparently faked his death 8 years ago. Like, who is he, Akechi?
Yeah. Hey. Spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoilers. Well, anyway, no, but. This was cool, but I don't know. I think they're trying to bite off more than they can chew.
Well, you know who else died on record? The Major. But Enokita's still alive. So if you think about it like that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you can kind of predict what's going to happen. Here's my prediction for episode 8. Here's my prediction for episode 8. The whole baseball symbolism where he's like, oh man, they baited the guy so that they couldn't get a double play.
Yep.
Well, obviously, he's going to use the wig that the Avenger guy gave him, and then he's just going to go and dress someone else up.
They're so lucky.
They're gonna get
everything
beaten up.
is set up perfectly for them. It's too perfect. They needed to screw it up.
Hey, suspend your disbelief for a second, please.
It's too good.
I don't know. I mean, the problem is that, like, this was definitely supposed to be the episode where it actually seemed like the main characters were in jeopardy. But the problem is that it's so... at least I think it's predictable how this is going to end, that I still don't feel any sense of gravity. I could be completely wrong. I kind of hope I am, because that would be kind of cool if they do something completely different, but I'm pretty sure that that's exactly what's going to happen.
It's
kind of sad.
It's
but-
like, hey, Greg, who's watching
well.
this show right now, we're not gonna use the rig, and he like throws it in the trash. You know what? We're not. What do you want to see, huh? Think you could write it better? No, say it. Let's go. No, we'll do it. Let's hear it. It's like I don't know. You
I got
bring
nothing.
back the baseball characters. Like, okay, fine. Hey, everybody, come back.
bring back-
Hey, they were on vacation,
Okay,
but
fine,
hey, no,
fine, you know
let's
what?
come back.
Fine, we'll have an entire episode dedicated to baseball. How about that, huh? Would that satisfy you?
Yeah. You want a baseball anime?
You want a baseball? There you go. There you go.
He's trying to do our job here, dude.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Fucking-
It was alright.
I still did like this episode. Don't get me
I don't
wrong,
like their
but
setup episodes. Kind of lame and boring.
I'm hoping the payoff's really fun.
Next episode will be a payoff.
It
Yeah,
better
I'm hoping
be.
the payoff will be good.
Because
It's
the
more
previous
setup.
the
more
the previous episodes from like the different arcs, like it would be a setup episode, then a climb, and then the conclusion, and then a
Yeah.
baseball episode.
Yeah.
I mean, a
And the
little bit of
baseball episode, that's the final
yeah.
episode.
Yeah, it just gotta
Yeah,
follow
their
that
baseball
format.
games are kind of like an indication of like this is the end of the arc.
That's the
Technically.
truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Looking forward
so
to
I'm pretty sure. Also, but just the blonde guy that's part of like the hacker hunter group.
Yeah.
Does he just like kidnap the hackers and then throw them in a boxing ring and then just beat them up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It's
they're
like a super
nerds.
villain.
Okay.
It's like a supervillain.
It's
Or-
basically like that one guy who
He
takes
kills
girls
every one of
and
his
then- yeah.
villains by boxing. Or his enemies by
Yeah.
boxing. How'd he do it?
All right.
We
fair enough.
call him the bare knuckle killer. I don't know.
The bare knuckle.
Bare knuckle bully.
Oh,
I don't know. There's too many characters for me to care about any more than just like Lin and Bonba.
He's
Their
gonna
sidekick.
be the
I
same
mean, yeah, I
character
think
as the
that's the
mayor's
point,
son.
though.
He doesn't have that much
Yeah.
of a big
Like plot.
um,
Yeah, he's plot.
he's just the kind of guy to
Yeah.
like kill all these people, and then they're gonna be mad at him because he killed all these people.
yeah.
But then, how much you want to
That's
bet he's
probably
gonna
what's
have
gonna
fist on fist a fight against Enokita? Like isn't he targeting like the hackers or something?
Yeah,
there's-
but Enokita's a little
Yeah.
bee. So what they'll do is they'll probably disguise
think-
like
yeah,
Lin
I think-
as Enokita.
Oh, and
Lin
he
will
has to fight. He has to fight the guy.
Classic Lin.
That's
And
actually
he's
a
like,
good
knife
prediction.
gun! Thunk.
Oh no, I am glad at least that they didn't give Enokita like these secret powers that he's able to like fight on his own with like actual hitmen. I was
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
happy
I
at
thought
least
they were
that
gonna be
they
like, oh,
didn't
he's
make him
good at
OP.
fighting too. It's like, oh, okay, great. But he sucks, so that's
Yeah,
cool.
okay. Yeah.
At least they're being a bit
At least
realistic.
they didn't like
Yeah.
pull that.
Yeah.
So
They could have
I'm
really
glad they're
easily.
keeping themselves grounded.
Would have been real
Gosh.
mad if they actually did.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, you guys really need to kill this kid off because
Yeah, because like he dodged like
He's-
two of
he's too
those
good. He's
punches,
too good.
and I
He's
was
too
like, is he?
I'm a top hacker.
Because like he
and
dodged
the
those
best.
two punches, and I was like, is he about to?
he's more OP than
Yeah.
Bonba if
I
he had
can
if he could do that.
Hitman. Yeah, he's actually
Yeah.
stronger than
How
I
did
am.
Bonba find
I
it?
don't.
knows?
How
The
did
black
Bonba
spider. I
find
don't
him?
know.
Oh yeah, I guess the black spider.
Oh
you're right.
wow! Look at that consistency. I'm
Yeah, but
impressed.
they didn't bring it up,
Consistency.
so we're not too sure.
so,
Well,
so it's
Every
I
time
think
they
it's
use
like
it, they
an
bring it up.
inference.
They're just like, "Oh, how did you find me?" The spider, of course. So they didn't bring it up. this time.
What else?
Oh well.
This episode is titled "Leader
alright.
Hitter." I thought it said Adolf Hitler. Did you see that?
Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, it says lead off.
It's not even an
Hitler. And I was
abstract
like,
title.
Adolf Hitler.
Wait, why is this episode called
Gosh.
Adolf Hitler?
Oh my god.
He's the German
Alright.
hitman of the Nazi gang. Oh yeah.
Alright, well, we're over
Good.
time, so
Okay.
let's
Give
just-
our list.
Let's conclude and wrap up. So yeah,
Same list as always, baby. Violet.
The list.
Junji.
The list.
I'm going.
Oh.
Okay, you
Violet,
just interrupted him.
Jun-
You just
Vi-
interrupted him.
Shut up, everybody. Violet, Junji, Pop Team, Ramens, Citrus, Death March. Same as always. For me.
What was your name again? I didn't hear it.
What was my what?
Your name.
My-
I didn't know who was giving the list.
What is my name? Who
Your
else?
name is.
That was supposed to be a better joke. Anyway, yes, I mean, nothing really changed.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
Very well, you are on it. Did Junji hype you up enough?
Yeah, I definitely.
Or are you still
did
pop
like
team?
You?
Well, less
more pop
Soichi,
team
more
over?
points for me. So.
Why you gotta diss on my boy Soichi?
I don't know, but I think we do have all the same lists. We said Violet.
Yay!
Pop Team.
Violet
Ito.
Junji pop. No, Violet Junji pop team. That's what
Wait,
we're
what?
saying.
But how's Shikiano?
Okay, well, no. What are you saying? What are you saying?
Are we
What
just
you
gonna
saying?
completely
What are
ignore
you
that
saying,
Hell
Ariana?
Shikiano?
No, that was great. That was great.
Ariana, what are
Wait.
you saying? Give your list. Give your actual list.
Okay, I'm gonna say Violet, Pop Team, Junji Ito, Ramen, Citrus, Death March.
All right. See,
So this is gonna just
because of the fact that
this
the
season's gonna become Junji versus Pop Team. That's the
Yeah.
season. We'll see.
I don't know because
What? Oh,
see,
okay.
You guys have forgotten me in the shadows.
Who?
Debating
Ramen-
between
Nick
whether or
Ramen's
not
gonna
to put
pay
Citrus
off
or Death
super
March
well.
as my sixth seed.
Oh,
And-
please don't tell me you're
okay.
gonna shake up Death March above
So,
Citrus, Greg. It's not.
This is
Citrus
me.
was bad. It
This
wasn't
is
that
me,
bad.
Greg. This is me, Greg, pulling out
Boy.
my list, which goes Violet, Ito Junji, Pop Team Epic, Ramens, and then I seriously can't pick one over the other. So
Don't
I'm
you
just
dare,
gonna cheat
Greg!
and
Don't you
say
dare!
there's
Don't
a
even
tie.
finish that sentence.
There is a
Oh my
tie.
God.
Don't even
If you-
finish
if
that
you
sentence,
raise
Greg.
Death
Citrus
March
and Death
one
March as the
micrometer
worst
above the
Don't
ground, Greg, we can
even-
never talk to each other again.
If you think Death
Citrus was
March
bad.
is
Citrus
better
was
than
bad. I'm not gonna defend Citrus, but it was not Death March.
yeah, Death March is a
the
different
difference
level.
between. But the thing is, at this stage, I expected this from Death March.
No,
I
cannot.
I can't
You
believe I'm saying
expected this,
but I
Greg?
didn't expect
Expected
it.
what? I thought we all agreed the
expected-
fact that we had no expectations for these two specific anime.
No, but after they pulled out an 11-year-old prostitute in Death March, my expectations were so low that anything raised the bar with Death March. They at least didn't do that with Citrus, so I had some hope. And then
So
they
it crushes it down
with
to
a
Death March level
14-year-old,
for you.
basic't cam girl.
See, it
I
hasn't
was
hit that level
disappointed.
for me yet. It has
Yeah,
not hit that level.
It
for me
hadn't
yet.
hit that level, so it was
I mean,
way
I'm
more
not a big fan
emotionally
of
crushing for me.
NTR, but it was.
Oh,
You
boy.
are apparently, but
But-
my favorite.
It was
character.
really
This one's
well
pretty
done.
hot.
Here first,
Not gonna
ladies and gentlemen. Ariana's into NTR.
You can appreciate good art, okay? You
like-
can appreciate the art.
Yeah. Freaking, as long as the character has headphones, you know. there's
I'm
no
still,
problem there.
I'm still based on the fact that she is basically the smartest character in that anime. There's nothing.
That's
you
not
could
saying
say
much.
that's-
Nah, that's not saying much,
She
though.
is the
That's not saying a
That's like
whole lot,
you're. That's
though.
like saying you're like the tallest dwarf. It's not really.
Yeah.
You're not really amounting to much, really.
It's like, yeah, in
Oh my
comparison, but... Yeah, that...
God.
I don't like Citrus, but... Like, I used this analogy before. It's resting on the bottom. It's at ground
It's
zero.
rock bottom.
But
It's rock bottom.
Yeah, rock bottom. But Death March's clawed. It scraped its way below that surface, and it's just going. It just keeps going. So unless Death March hits the molten core of badness, I can't see it changing. Like I can't see like Citrus passing it up anytime soon.
The thing is, though, and I can't believe I'm trying to defend Death March, but the thing that we need to make the distinction that while Satu definitely has a lolly harem, he at the very least is so oblivious to it that he doesn't act upon it, whereas Yuzu has kissed multiple women and
Two.
is essentially
Two
accepting the
women.
fact that
Yeah,
it's
two-
part
First of all,
her life.
I think
she
it
didn't
was two-
initiate
it
it.
was
What
two
if
of the
there's
same
First of all,
episode.
she didn't
14-year-old
initiate
girl?
those kisses. So technically, she wouldn't have fought against it because they were like, it was implemented on her. You can't say, "Oh, hi, I'm Yuzu and I'm such a women's woman because I go out and kiss all these women."
Okay.
Yo, why are you victim
But it's-
shaming,
You
Greg? Why are
already
you
know.
victim shaming?
You already know. like people, no,
Law and
people,
Order.
like how people say, "Oh yeah, no." This is like the instance where people are like, "Oh yeah, girls never plan on being porn stars when they grow up." Matsuri is the girl that planned on being a porn star as soon as she hit 5th grade. She is the girl.
Technically, it's
that
not
was
hers,
the one that
so
had
she's
such
not-
low moral standards.
I don't know.
It's not
We'll
hers.
see the backstory because there has to be backstory. So we'll
Oh
see.
yeah, just
we'll
like,
see how they
just like
justify
Twin
it.
Tails. Is like corkscrew.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see
How
how
are
they
gonna
justify it.
this? We'll see how they justify it.
Because
But
I am
this
interested
moment,
in that.
Sintrus
That's
and
more than I can
Death
say
March are
about-
tied for the worst shows of the season.
I can't say because I'm at least interested to see where Citrus is going with this. I mean, I don't like the plot at all. I think it's boring, but I want to see how bad it can get. Death March, I was like that, but now it's just like
Really
it's just
bad.
you're watching a guy dying. You're watching a guy dying on a bed, and you're like, well, this sucks.
Can't really help.
Guess I'll
yeah,
wait till he
you can't really
dies.
help it. Yeah, just let him die.
like, well, now I gotta see this through, I guess. Come on, old man.
Come on,
Oh
hurry up!
my
You're just like standing there, just like hurry up! Come on!
Yeah, you're so close. You're so close. Come on. Leave the city of your life.
Yeah, you see the little box and like the little the heartbeat, whatever the line thing, and it keeps flatlining, but it starts coming back up. You're like, ah!
It flatlines once a week when Death March comes out.
Finally flatlines, and I'm gonna cry. Not because he died, but
Ah, God.
it's over.
Because he
No
stayed
more.
too long. Oh, wow. What a week, guys.
Alright.
I hated it.
Signing off.
Oh,
We gotta
what
sign
a
off
week.
the same.
Alright, we gotta sign off, yeah.
Are you gonna count us down?
Alright. 3, 2, 1.
Fall in love with us again
with us next week.
Screw you guys.
That was subpar. That was real subpar.